to go to shloka number 10, where he is going to again talk about some conditions, for jnana. And then we will go slowly into the topic of the jnana karma sannyasa yoga. Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha manmaya mamupashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa Putamadbhavamagataha. So what is he saying here? Vita raga bhaya krodha. So we know all these words already. Vita means free from, raga is attachment, bhaya is fear, krodha is anger. Matmaya mam upashritaha. That means manmaya mam upashritaha, meaning completely absorbed in me. Upashritaha meaning they take refuge in me. So two things is saying. Manmaya mam upashritaha is two things actually. They are absorbed in me and they take refuge in me. Bahavaha jnana tapasa. Bahavaha means these many persons he is talking about. Jnana tapasa. So they are of knowledge. And tapasa, by this fire of knowledge, by this tapas, puta madbhavam agataha. Putaha, that means they are purified. Madbhavam is my divineness. Agataha, they attain the divineness. So the general translation is, being freed from attachment, fear and anger and becoming fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me. Many persons in the past have become purified by the knowledge of me and thus have attained me. So shloka number 11. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushyaः partha sarvashah. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Ye, the one who, yatha, in whichever way, mam, to me, prapadyante, in whichever way they surrender. So in whichever way to me they surrender. Who? The people. Tan tatha eva bhajami aham. Tan means them. Tatha. So eva, certainly, bhajami aham. I will reciprocate to them in the same way. In whichever way they have surrendered to me, I will reciprocate to them in the same way. Mama vartma anuvartante. Mama vartma. That is my vartma, meaning is the path. Anuvartante, they follow. Manushyaha partha sarvashah. Manushyaha, the men, partha, Arjuna, sarvashah. They follow in all respects. So what does this mean? So in whichever way people surrender to me, I reciprocate to them accordingly. Everyone follows my path, knowingly or unknowingly, O son of Pritha. So what is he trying to say here? So the question comes when we say, okay, human beings, like we have like preferential treatments. If I like somebody, I will be very nice to them. If I don't like somebody, I'm not nice to them. Then it appears as though God also is doing the same thing. Why some people are getting moksha, some people are not getting moksha? Why is it? Is there preferential treatment that God is giving? So for this only, he is answering this question. He says, I don't do that. So moksha is chosen by that person. In 12th chapter also it will come, there are different kinds of bhaktas who come to me, like one who is suffering, one who wants wealth and things like that, and then one who is the mumukshu, and then one is a jnani itself. So there are different kinds of people approaching him. So here he says, I will reciprocate what they have asked. I am not doing anything. I am only giving what they want. So that is why if they have not asked moksha, I am not giving them moksha. So the point is then, like, doubt comes that, oh, why can't I have moksha also, these worldly things like that? So Shankara says, you cannot. You have to choose one path. If you want worldly things, go ask for worldly things. It's okay. But if you want moksha, then only moksha. Like that, the answer is given. So that is the answer for the question of why do you not give moksha to everybody? So that is the answer. So the way is that I reciprocate to them what they have asked me. So that is that. And then the second line, he says, everyone follows my path knowingly and unknowingly. What does that mean? So people in the pravritti margam and the nivritti margam, like we said, two paths are there. One is the householder and one is the sannyasi. Actually, he says both of them are following the same path only. How we can say that they are following the same path only? Because what we are seeking actually is happiness, and happiness actually is the quality of the God or Brahman, we can call is the Ananda Swarupa. So actually that only we want, but we don't know. We think that through the objects and everything we are getting the Ananda. But the final goal is the same for everybody. Some people know it, some people don't know it. So that is what is that meaning, that everyone follows my path knowingly and unknowingly. People who are going in adharma path, then how you can say they are coming in my path? So for that he says, no, these people also will come to my path. So that is why I will take these avatars. I will just remove their stula shariras or their bodies, and then they come and they will come into the fold as well. So for all people, the main goal, with knowing or without knowing, is the same, which is to get the anandam or the happiness. So all of them are following my path. That is the meaning of the shloka. So now shloka number 12. Kangshantah karmanam siddhim यजन्त इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. So here he says Kangshantah karmanam siddhim. Kangshantah means desiring, karmanam material activities, siddhim is success. I want success from the material activities. I desire the success from the material activities. So these people, what they do? Yajanta iha devataha. So what they do, they worship iha in this world, devataha. They worship the celestial gods. So what happens after that? Kshipram hi manushe loke. Kshipram meaning very quickly. That is the key word here. Kshipram hi manushe loke. In this human world, manushe loke, in this world, siddhihi bhavati karmaja. Siddhihi is the rewards come very, bhavati manifest, karmaja. Karmaja meaning born from the material activities. So what is he saying here? In this world, those desiring success in material activities worship the celestial gods. Since material rewards manifest quickly. What was our doubt here? Why people don't seek moksha? The answer is two things. First of all, it is difficult. And the second thing is, it is too long. There are two answers for this. For example, how we can say when we compare like allopathy treatment with Ayurveda treatment. Ayurveda treatment will take a long time because it has to cure the symptom itself. But the allopathy will just suppress and give very quick results. If you have headache, if you take like an asin, it will immediately go. The headache was caused by something else, which the Ayurveda will treat, and it will be difficult. They will say whenever you go to Ayurvedic doctor, they will give you a big diet. You should not eat curd, you should not eat this, you should eat food at this temperature. So it is very difficult to do it. So most people will not go there. They will go for a quick cure. And then the other thing is, it is a long process, we said. Like how long cooking, it takes 2 hours. Eating, it takes 5 minutes. Like that, it is a long process because we have to come from sadhana chatushtayam. We have to do all these things. We have to do the mental purity along with karma yoga. Then you have to go and get the jnana from the proper teacher. Then you will do practice, and then you have to get the moksha. So by listening itself, some people, they were not motivated. So then they will not go in that path. So these are the two things why he's saying that it is not happening. But what happens on the other hand is, when you want the worldly things, you can worship gods, and the gods will give you, like in the 3rd chapter, he said, the way I have created is, if you worship gods, the gods will also give you the things you want. Like that, if you worship then and ask for things, it will come very quickly, because once you give, it will come back to you. So that is the cycle. When they keep doing this, they are just entrapped in all these things, worshipping and taking. Like that, they are living their life. But the difficult and the long path, nobody wants to take, which is the moksha. Shloka number 30. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam Gunakarma vibhagashah tasya kartaramapi mam vidhya kartaramavyayam. So he says here, he is going to talk about the Varnashrama. There are a lot of things here in this shloka. So Chatur Varnyam. So the 4 categories of the occupations, Maya Srishtam was created by me. Maya Srishtam was created. Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. Guna Karma. So of Guna and of Karma, of activities. Vibhagashaha meaning according to the divisions. So the divisions were created based on the guna and the karma. Tasya kartaram apimam. So tasya of that, kartaram apimam. Kartaram means the creator. Apimam, although I am, although me. Vidhi akartaram avyayam. Vidhi, know that akartaram, non-doer, avyayam, unchangeable. So what he is trying to say is, the 4 categories of the occupations were created by me according to people's qualities and activities. Guna, karma. And although I am the creator of the system, know me to be the non-doer. That is akartara. I am the non-doer and I am the eternal and unchangeable person. So why it looks like very contradictory. So many things are packed into one shloka. We will see what it means. So in the first line, what he is talking is 2 things. The division is based on 2 things. Ashrama vibhagaha, that is based on the lifestyle. We saw the brahmacharya, the grihastha, who is in the household, and vanaprastham, which is the retired life, and the sannyasa, which is the renounced life. So there's 4, we call this the ashrama vibhagaha. So it is the division based on the ashramas. And then there is the Varnashrama Vibhagaha, which is based on the occupation. It says he divided the society into 4. Based on what did he divide the society? That's what we are going to go into. Here, Varnaha means character based on which quality one can be known or identified. That is the meaning of the Varnaha. It is the character. What is the quality with which you can identify a person is called Varnaha. And the 4 Varnas are the Brahmana, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Shudra. And what it each means is like this. So who are the Brahmanas? So the Brahmanas, it has been said, Brahma Veti iti Brahmanaha. The one who has realized the Brahman is called the Brahmana. And also there is one more qualification, the person who has learned the Vedas. So 2 qualifications are there for the Brahmanas. Then who are the Kshatriyas? Shata trayate iti kshatriyaha. That means, what does it mean? The one who saves us from danger. They are called the Kshatriyas. And then who are the Vaishyas? Vishati dharati iti Vaishyaha. It means the people who take things from one place to the another. And who are the Shudras? Sucha abhidravati iti Shudraha. So one who does physical work. So how they are actually classified? There are 3 things in classification. Actually, if you see the guna, which is the qualities, karma, which is the duties, and jati, which is the birth. But if you notice here, Krishna didn't mention the word jati at all. He only mentioned guna and karma. People are only classified based on the gunas and the karmas or their occupations. So only the classification is based on these things. So based on the gunas, how are they classified? Brahmanaha means actually a person, we know that we have 3 gunas, the sattva, the rajas and the tamas. So the Brahmana will have the sattva as the highest, the rajas as the middle and the tamas as the lowest. So if you want to put in like a short form, you can put it as SRT. That will be Brahmana. And Kshatriya, rajas is the highest, the sattva is the middle and the tamas is the lowest. So you put it as RST. And Vaishya, the rajas is the highest, the tamas is the middle and the sattva is the lowest. So it is RTS. And for Shudra, the tamas is the highest, the rajas is the middle and the sattva is the lowest. So TRS. So Brahmanaha, it was SRT, Kshatriya was RST, Vaishya is RTS, and Shudra is TRS. Based on karma, what do we say? Brahmana will do the teaching. He has to teach the religious things. He has to impart good things to this society. And Kshatriya will protect the country. And Vaishya will do agriculture and trade. And Shudra will help people physically. So this is the classification. Based on Jati, which is never mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, coming from birth. Brahmana means coming from the Brahmin family. Kshatriya means coming from the Kshatriya family. Vaishya meaning coming from the Vaishya family. And Shudra meaning coming from the Shudra family. This is not the way in which it has been explained. It is all the people who have changed it, and it has become notorious over time. The classification is only based on the guna and the karma. So what you should do is, where is the greatness, is that you will change your guna, because we cannot do anything. Even with karma, we cannot change, because your occupation sometimes is not chosen. You have partial control over your occupation. Over your birth, you have no control at all. But what you have full control is over the gunas. So these gunas have to be developed, and we have to live these gunas having the sattva as the highest. That is the purpose. It is not to say that one person is superior or one person is inferior. That is totally against the scriptures, totally against Hinduism. And what is being said is only the development of the gunas. And that is what is the classification. People are classified based on the gunas because they will have those tendencies, and those tendencies can fit in certain occupations. That was the only way in which it was classified. So this is what we have to focus on. We have to focus on our gunas mainly. And then the second line, he is contradicting himself. He said, oh, I created all these categories of people, but I am the non-doer. I didn't create anything. So why is he contradicting himself here? Is because when he is talking about the creation, he's talking in terms of the creator. We will see later also, there are two levels in which everything will be explained. One will be the Vyavaharika Satyam, which is the way in which we see things like a transactional world. And one is the Paramarthika Satyam, which is the absolute truth. So we are all living in the Vyavaharika Satyam, which we are in the transactional world, but we have to know the Paramarthika Satyam, which is the absolute truth. So in one level, everything will be true, like the creation is true, all these the society is there, all this is true. So he says, I have created, but I have not created. How? When he raises himself to the Paramarthika Satyam, when he talks about absolute truth and absolute Brahman, I didn't create anything. So after telling that only, he is going to come to the topic of this Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, how he becomes a non-doer and how the Jnani becomes the non-doer. That's what he wants to get into. So this line is just like an introduction to how you become a non-doer of things even though you do everything. So that is the essence of this line. So shloka number 14. Namang karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mayo bhijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. So here says his namam karmani limpanti, not mam for me, karmani, the activities, limpanti, they do not taint me. Name karma phale spruha. For me, phale spruha, meaning I do not have the desires for the fruit of the actions. That is why the karmani don't taint me. Iti mam yaha abhijanati. So iti, thus mam, the me, yaha, who, abhijanati, knows me. If somebody knows me like this, karma bihi na saha badhyate. So the result of the action for him also, never saha for that person, badhyate. He is bound. So what is the general translation of this? Activities do not taint me, nor do I desire the fruits of action. One who knows me in this way is never bound by the karmic reactions of work. So he says, last shloka, he said, I am the karta. I was doing all these things. I created the society. But he says that it doesn't bind me. How it doesn't bind him? Because of the two factors. Why it doesn't bind is because the ahamkara abhavat, which is the acting without the sense of the doership, ahamkara abhavat, and karma phala abhavat, which is acting without the desire for the results. Not only him, if we are doing the work without the ahamkara that I am doing, and the karma phala without the desire for the actions, then it will not bind us. The karma will not bind us. Then he says, the one who knows me in such a way, he is also not bound. So he knows the true nature of existence. So that person will not be bound. When we want to take the jackfruit, we put oil in our hands and we take it. Just like that, the karma, even though you are doing it, it will be like proof. It will be like this oil and it will not bind. This is shloka number 14. Shloka number 15. Evam nyatva kritam karma पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतम्. So here he says, evam nyatva kritam karma. Evam means thus nyatva, knowing, kritam karma meaning what was performed, the karma, the actions, purvaihi api mumukshubhihi. So how it was performed? By the purvaihi, by the ancient times, by the seekers of liberation. He says that there was a certain way in which the seekers of liberation or the mumukshus did the karma. Kuru karma eva tasmatvam. Kuru means should perform karma duty. Eva certainly, tasmat, therefore. Therefore, you should perform your duty, Arjuna. So he again goes back to the topic of the karma yoga. There was a certain way in which the mumukshus did their duty. The same way you should also do your duty. Tasmat purvaihi purva tarankritam. So purvaihi means those ancient sages, purva taram, in ancient times, kritam, perform the duties. So what he is saying is, knowing this truth, even the seekers of liberation in ancient times performed actions. Therefore, following the footsteps of those ancient sages, you too should perform your duty. So here he wants to say that do your duty. Basically, he wants to say do your duty. But how do your duty? There was a certain way in which the mumukshus perform their duty. So follow their footsteps. So it leads you to the correct direction. So similar to what the Shishtachara or what he said in chapter number 3, he said, right? Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadayah loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Then yadyata charati shrestah tatta deve tarojanah sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. Shloka number 20 and 21, chapter 3, where he talked about how people like Janaka, they performed their duties very well. They got the liberation. From then they started doing the Loka Sangraham. So like that, follow the people like that who are mumukshus and who have gained who have attained liberation. And if you follow the pattern of them, you will also get liberation. So that is what he says here. For you do your duty only. Eva, there is only one option for you. Kuru karmaiva tasmatvam. Kuru karma eva is there. Eva means there is no option for you. Do your duty properly. Follow them, follow the good examples. Why you should do karma? We have seen this many times, to get purity of mind. The karma yoga is being performed only to get purity of mind. When you get purity of mind, your mind will become very receptive to the jnana which is fed to you. And from there, you will easily get the liberation. So that is why this karma yoga has been stressed time and again by Krishna. This is the initial introductory slokas he has finished. Now he is getting into the topic. And from 16, very important. This is the bulk of the topic itself of the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So introduction to this he is giving here. Kim karma kimakarmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yajñatva mokshase shubhat. So here he says, Kim karma, kima akarma iti. Kim means what? Karma means action. Again, kim means what? Akarma means inaction. So what is action? What is inaction? Iti kavayaha api atra mohitaha. Kavayaha means the wise people. Api also atra in this mohitaha. They are confused. What is action and what is inaction? In that, even the wise people are confused. Tatte karma pravikshami. Tat, that, te, to you, karma, action, pravikshami. I will explain to you what is action. Arjuna, yat jnatva mokshase ashubhat. Yat jnatva means which jnatva is knowing, mokshase, you will free yourself from ashubhat, from inauspiciousness or the samsara. So what he is saying is that what people know as action and what people know as inaction, even the wise people are very confused. So I will tell you what is action, and knowing which, you will free yourself from this bondage of samsara. So the general translation is, what is action and what is inaction? Even the wise are confused in determining this. Now I shall explain to you the secret of action, by knowing which you will free yourself from material bondage. So in the 16 to 17, as I said, he is introducing the topic of the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And what is action and what is inaction, people do not know, and it is understood very wrongly. So there is spiritually, there is a very profound meaning to action and inaction, which he is going to talk about. So that is coming later. Shloka number 17. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam bodhavyancha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Karmanaha hi api bodhavyam. Recommended action. Karmanaha meaning he is talking about the recommended action. We'll see what it is. Hi api bodhavyam should be known. You should know about what is the prescribed action. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. Bodhavyam, you must also understand about what? Vikarmanaha, which is the forbidden action. Akarmanascha bodhavyam. There is one more thing which is called the akarmanaha, which is inaction. Bodhavyam, that you must understand. Gahana karmanaha gatihi. Gahana, it is very profound. Karmanaha, of action, gatihi, the true path. So we thought we are going to learn about this karma. Now 2-3 more words he has given. So what he is saying, we will see. So what he is saying is, you must understand the nature of the three: recommended action, wrong action, and inaction. The truth about this is profound and it is difficult to understand. So in Karma Kanda, what karma means is the, what we can say is the allotted or the prescribed work. Like what is karma, what we should rightly do, and the akarma meaning not doing that work which they have said to you to do. And what is vikarma is the nishiddha karma, which is the prohibited works that we saw. So that should never be done. But the next shloka, he is going to talk about the spirituality of the karma. Then shloka number 18, which is the most important shloka of this entire chapter, and it is one of the most important shlokas of the whole Bhagavad Gita. So we will see that it may be a little bit wishy-washy in the beginning, but we will understand it as we read it again. So we will close here.